Zayin.
All these churches you go to, I saw them all night. And what you saw was an illusion. You saw was a trick of the devil. If a person claims to be free, and they not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High Yah, what you saw was fake.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, Zayin.
When he changes the curse, the last shall be first. Soldiers not afraid.
Tonight, one of our favorite nights of the week,
Yes, it is.
where we get a chance to talk to the new believers,
Right.
to the newly conscious
That's right.
Hebrew Israelites. Some of y'all just waking up to true shalom.
Shalom.
And Moray be talking and be throwing out Hebrew words and phrases and reading and talking about background and history, and y'all be like, what is the Moray talking about? That's the group we talking to tonight.
What words?
we talking to that group tonight. I'm gonna wait till we get some more in the room. Shalom. Well, this is good to give me an opportunity to say hello as y'all coming in. Let's see. Surrender's in the room. Shemaine's in the room. Tina's in the room. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Shalom. Shalom. Shirley. Shalom. Ernestine. Shalom. Once again, Mighty Ones is playing in the background, that album from Black Judah called Shadow. All right, Dorothea's in the room. Who else in here? Chanat, Lynn, Bela, Charlie, Ramona. Hallelujah. Y'all come on in here till we get at least around 100. Y'all should know me. I'm morehyosh Dawid of the ARK, Ben Israel. And tonight, to my immediate right,
Yaran Alkanah. Glad to be with y'all, Zayin.
got the water going. We're gonna get into this word. Oh, you know what, man?
What's that?
We keep changing cameras, right? I'll be
Yeah.
looking on this side, I'm supposed to be looking over here.
It's all reverse.
I think we'll be all right. We'll make it through
Yeah,
it.
we make it through.
Yes, we will make it through it. All right.
Hey, if the newscasters could look at the wrong camera, we can too.
Every now and then, man, I done seen them do it. So, shalom.
Shalom.
And again, this is one of the, for me personally, I look forward to tonight. I look forward to being able to come with the new members to our newly awakened Hebrews. I heard a brother use the word newly conscious.
That's it.
They were unconscious.
Yeah.
Now y'all becoming conscious. Conscious of what? Who you are.
Who you belong to.
And whose you are. Correct. See, your identity, Zayin, was stolen. Now, if you say, Moray, how do you just make a statement like that? You just coming out the blue saying our identity was stolen? Okay, I got one question for you. What is your last name?
Plain and simple.
What's your last name? Come on, what's your last name? If you want to know whether or not your identity was stolen, put your last name in here and let's see whether or not that name sounds like anything that comes out of East Africa. Come on, let's see.
No, mine.
So, you know mine, though.
French.
Oh, my goodness, man. Mine from Scotland. Look at it. Smith, Darley, Smithers, Johnson, Clark. None of that. That's not East Africa. No. Lane, no.
Don't sound
no.
Afro-Asiatic to me.
Breckenridge. No, ain't no
Wow.
Gills, Sheldon. I really don't. Wait a minute. Womble, Ward, Kelly. Y'all.
We got the name.
What's going on? Yarborough. Look, I told y'all.
Oh, there's another Eccles?
Where is Oh, Echo's in the
It's
house,
different
man.
spelling. So we.
So do y'all understand what Moray is trying to say now? So what is your original name before the change? What is your original name before they changed your name? Before they took your identity? What is your language? Because you do know your people were not, white men, you know you were. Look, man.
We're laughing with you.
We might end this video right now. Y'all might have to catch us tomorrow, because boy, I'll be thinking about that all night. Now, you know that's not East Africa.
No.
The land of the black.
No.
The land of the
Never.
dark. The land of the burnt-faced people.
Never, ever.
The land of the burnished brass, the
Come on.
feet tried in the fire
Yeah.
people. Woo-wee. So you see why we need this class.
Yeah.
Can't nobody say Moray is lying. Oh, Moray, man. You mean they took our identity? You don't know your name.
Nope. Sure don't.
You don't know your language. You don't know your history.
No.
You don't even know your people. You waking up to that
Yeah,
part. You're saying, you
yeah.
know what? I think we're the children of Israel. Oh, yeah. what about that? And wait a minute. You're wrong.
Yeah.
Are we the children of Israel?
100%.
I need you to say it out loud. Let them.
We are the children of Israel. We are the Shemites. We descend from Shem.
Now,
No Ham, no Japheth. We come from Shem.
Toda Rabbah.
We are pro-Shemitic.
Now, tomorrow, if you make a video talking about you apologize, me and you gonna have some problems. If you make a video tomorrow and say, hey,
Pray for me like we praying for them now, because we. Oh my goodness.
I'm talking about, man, that they were bold behind the
My
camera, wasn't
goodness.
they?
Extra bold.
Talking about the melanin.
Mm-hmm.
Man, talking about who we are, man,
Right.
we're set apart and how people have stole our identity. And
Yeah.
now, why would you back down from that?
The truth.
And your name is, what was your government name, last name?
Eccles.
You think I'm in the back down?
Oh man.
No, we're not backing down from
Nah,
that.
None. Can't.
Unless they're gonna go in them vaults.
Yeah.
But when they start pulling out last names, where they find out we Yehuda. They find out that some of y'all Issachar.
Right. Come on.
They're gonna pull out and they say, oh, this person's last name was Reuben.
Yeah.
These are Reubenites.
That's it.
This from Simeon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody gonna be, oh, this was Zebulon.
Come on.
And by the time, man, we get to Asher, Ephraim, and Manasseh, you get my point?
Yep.
That when they unveil it, they'd have to, and then we'll say, well, where are these people from?
About to be proclaimed.
And if you guys have been watching these earlier videos, Yaron brought this out, I think, even before we started the alphabet. So if you haven't seen that video where he shows the map of where they went to get us when we had to migrate to West Africa.
The European maps showing the settlements, that Negro land
And what was
map,
it? Thank you. There it
which
is.
they called Negro land
was
map.
just gonna say,
they
there it
called
is.
it the Slave Coast, but they still put on their Kingdom of Judah. This is their maps, so they could put whatever they want, but they knew who they took.
They knew they took the kingdom of Judah because 10 of the 12 tribes, a lot of them had already been dispersed. So when the second captivity, which I shouldn't say second one,
Right.
but when the captivity of the west coast of Africa took place,
Right.
they captured the children of Israel that had been scattered or had ran and was trying to avoid persecution. But you can't outrun them curses, can you?
Sure can't. It's gonna be on you forever. That's what the word
So
said.
even if you're in Africa,
They will come over you and overtake you. Them curses gonna find you wherever you are. And I've been 6 out of 7 continents, and I've seen us in those 6
and
out
what
of
kind
7
of state
continents.
are we normally in all over this
We at the
world?
bottom.
Pretty much all
Just
the
like
time.
the scriptures say.
Exactly like the scriptures have said. No other nation is like that. You can go to China. Guess who's on top? The Chinese. If you go to Russia, guess who's on top? The Russians.
Right.
Am I right about that?
100%.
If you go to England, guess who's running England? The English. But everywhere you go where we are, somebody else is running us.
All the lands of our captivities.
Everywhere we've been scattered to.
Everyone.
Just like the Bible said, no We don't have a president. We don't have our own government system.
Nothing.
He said, you're going to be powerless against your enemies. And some of y'all thinking you can go out here and shoot the king of killing with your rusty 22s and your 38 specials that you too cheap to go get some fresh bullets on. What? Y'all got a whole nother thing coming.
Well, they might actually have some good ones. You know, we leave out the people that might have the good weapons. It's what they think is good, but
Okay.
going against
Okay.
going against the real force,
Y'all
don't stand a chance.
I just want to let them know we don't have an organized military to
Don't
defend us.
stand
Do
a
it.
chance.
You can defend your home,
That's
Zion. You know what I'm saying? If it come down to it, I get a call from Iran, man, somebody messing with
Right.
him. Man, we going over there, right?
Likewise.
You know how that is.
Yep.
We're going to defend
Quick
each other.
fast, yep.
But we're not going to go out here and try to take run a coup on this crazy country. Man, our king is coming back.
Right.
And he got the real weapon.
That's it.
And that's our segue into what
Hallelujah.
our letter is tonight.
Perfect segue.
The weapon. Matter of fact, I need that weapon of our warfare, verse 2.
All right.
So, where we're going to begin, Zion, we got 100. Man, look at this. We've been in this room 11 minutes. It's 168
Hallelujah.
Hebrews want to learn the alphabet. And we're going to teach it if the
That's
Most
it.
High let us do it. Tonight's letter is Zayin.
Zayin.
Zayin. How you pronounce it? Zayin. Once again, let me say Toda Rabbah to Jasmine through her hard labor
Yes.
of putting these wonderful flashcards together that now are getting views every single week. And people are getting them. If you don't have them, going all over. This is going all over the world. Why? Because morehyosh, Yahoo, Iran, and not just us. We're taking this message all over the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can go back and check out even some of Royal Root's old
That's right.
videos where
Traveling.
Hula was putting this stuff out, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
We've been on this road teaching Zion. This is not just, oh, Moray is only one. No, Yah's raising up people. I went on a website today, didn't even know. It was a sister. And by the way, sister, if you're watching this video, I want to say Toda Rabbah for your work. I don't know who you are in humility. You didn't put your face on it. You didn't put your name. I know you just wanted to get the message out. And you actually, and what got me to even stop at your video was you put out a video on the alphabet, and what made me stop was it was just a black hand on the frame. There was no face, but it was a black woman's hand. I said, man, who was that? That ain't Hula's hand. Who else out here teaching? Let me type this in, see who else is teaching.
There's some teachers out there.
And it was true. It was solid. It was right down the middle for the babies. Toda Rabbah. That's what it's about.
That's it.
It's waking up Jacob. Zion is waking
Yeah.
up. And it was a couple minutes long. Wasn't long, like 3 or 4 minutes. And I
that's
said,
more than enough
that's
sometimes.
one of the most beautiful, it's an effort being put forth in Zion. And I just want to say, one love and Toda Rabbah, keep up the good work. Because that's what this is about.
Right.
We're in this thing together. All right. I just wanted to put that out there. And if I had our sister's name, I would give her props by name, but you can find her online, I'm sure. She could be the only black hand teaching Hebrew right now. Okay, so tonight we're dealing with Zayin. And I want you all to get this. I don't know how to turn these messages
We should
on.
turn notifications on.
Yeah, we should have. I need you all to get this letter out. We're going to once again be using Jeff Benner. We have purchased his material. We are not using or trying to hustle him or hustle his material. We're just trying to help Zion wake up to the truth. And so we encourage everyone, go ahead and show them. We encourage everyone to go get this book. We're not getting a cut from Jeff per, we're not hustling.
Right.
We're just trying to, the tool that was put in our hands, we're just trying to put that tool in your hands. That's all we're trying to do. All right, so, order it, and that information is on the website. By the way, Drika just had a birthday yesterday.
That's right.
Yeah, so Toda Rabah for her and
That's
the work
right.
she's
Blessings,
doing
blessings.
as an administrator. Oh, Vicky said she just got her book and
Hallelujah.
cards. Hallelujah.
All right.
Hallelujah. So the Hananiah Project is where you want to get these cards. And of course, Psalm 119 is where we see all of the alphabet, the Hebrew alphabet,
That's it.
listed there. It'll start off with Aleph, and you'll see like 8 verses. You'll see Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav, and then today we're dealing with Zayin. And of course, Zayin on the back of these cards will have exactly what you need to understand this letter. All right, so all you got to do is look on the front. You're going to see it's a plow, and it's also used as a weapon. It carries a functional meaning,
Right.
to cut, C-U-T, to cut. All right, and then of course it can also represent an axe. Don't an axe cut?
It sure does.
It could be a sword. Don't a sword cut?
Sure does.
And it can mean to pierce. All right. So you want to pick this up. Those definitions are on the back of the card. Plus, you get the scripture that will have a word or the words that begin, or some words that begin with this letter.
In Hebrew.
It'll be in Hebrew, not English. Because the word we're going to look at tonight is, one of the words we're going to look at tonight is the word remember. And that word is going to have in it, of course, the Zayin. All right. So let us begin like we normally do with a very simple reading from the ancient Hebrew lexicon of the Bible. Once again, these are Hebrew letters, words, and root defined within their ancient cultural
That's right.
context.
It changes everything.
Are you sure he's not from Africa? Why would he decide, man, to go to Africa to find out how this thing is supposed to really be done? But then people running around acting like everything come out of Europe. He was like, no, the Europeans, they ain't got it right.
Copied and pasted it wrong.
And so he said, no, we got to go ancient.
Yep.
So when Yaron and I sit before the world and talk about this, we want you to know something, Zayin. This information is out there. They just never taught it to you.
Right.
You was in church all that time. They never showed you 20 years, 30 years, 15 years, whatever. They never showed you this information, even though they had it. But one reason is because it ain't theirs.
Right.
This is our language. And that's why we have such a concern and interest in it.
Right.
Because we're getting back to who we are and whose we are by learning our alphabet. All right, come on, let's listen to what he said.
I'm going to point out the old.
Oh, yes,
when I
while you read.
So the ancient pictograph for Zayin is that thing that looks like a plow there, and is some type of agricultural implement similar to a mattock or plow.
Which is this wooden thing behind it. That's what that plow is. All right, come on.
The meanings of this letter are harvest or crop, as this tool is used in the harvesting, food as from the harvest, and cut from the function of the implement, and broad from its shape. So you have harvest, crop, food, cut, broad, and shape, dealing with that word.
So harvest, crop, food, shape. What was the last one?
Cut, and then
Cut. All right.
the modern Hebrew name for this letter is Zayin, but was originally the parent root Zan. When the Greeks adopted the letter, its name was originally Zan, but later became Zeta, the modern name for this letter in the Greek alphabet.
Now, y'all have heard of a zeta, and if you haven't, I told you that them Greeks who always want to claim that all history and knowledge and wisdom starts with them. Have you ever noticed every time there's a documentary
Every single time.
on any type of history,
The Greeks.
The ancient Greeks.
The Greeks,
The ancient Greeks. They even got you Hebrews putting Greek letters
Yeah.
on your body and pledging Greek fraternities.
Right.
Not real life, because it's mockery against
Right.
us.
It is.
That the Greeks were the enemies of the Hebrews,
Yeah.
according to history and the Maccabees.
That's right.
And they came into our nation and they made us, they told us we could no longer worship on the Shabbat. They would not allow us to circumcise our children. They killed the mamas and the babies, cut their heads off and mutilated the children because the mama said, we're not going to be Greek. We're not going to be Hellenized. My kid's not pledging. My kids are going to be Hebrew Israelites.
Right.
They said, well, then they're going to die then. So that's the kind of Greeks we're talking about. We're talking about the Greeks who came down into our land through Antiochus Epiphanes. Ain't that in the Bible?
That's
It's Zayin. And I'm talking about, man, killed nasty pigs and put the blood all over our temple. That's what we're talking about when we deal with these Greeks.
Right.
And they stole our alphabet, is what we're trying to show y'all tonight. Now look, Moreh didn't write that. Did you read that the Greeks got that from the Zayin?
Mm-hmm.
So which means they did come into our land.
That's right.
And they did steal our stuff.
That's right.
I just want y'all to understand, Zayin, this is more than just a simple lesson on the Zayin.
Right.
This is also to help you restore your history. Come on.
Continuing. The phonetic sound for this letter is Z,
Z,
as it is
Z.
in Greek and Arabic.
Correct.
The early Shemitic pictograph was simplified and evolved into, where's the one that looks like, evolved into this later. That one right there.
Mm-hmm.
The late Shemitic script and evolved into the modern Hebrew letter. And the modern one here, the big one there. The Greeks and Romans adopted this letter to become the letter Z. The late Shemitic became the number 7.
Correct. So if you listen to the word 7, and then you see this is the Zayin, and then you look at it's the 7th letter of the Hebrew alphabet. So where did we get our numbering system here in America?
We ain't doing Roman numerals.
No, they're not using the Roman numeral. They're still using our numbering system.
Right.
They use our letter, number 7.
We gotta learn Roman numerals in school, but we ain't never learned Hebrew.
Ooh, that's a good one. So watch this. So the Greeks came and conquered us and stole our stuff. Then when the Romans conquered the Greeks, right? They looked at their stuff and they said, you know what, you Greeks, that stuff you stole from them Hebrews is better than our stuff too. So they ended up using our letters for the foundation of their letters.
That's right.
Because this eventually becomes the Z.
That's right.
In the English language, right? All right, so all of you watching this video, if you can clearly see that we are the original, then it went to Greek, then it went to Roman, then it came over to English. Put a 7 in this chat. Put a 7. And remember, this is for the babies.
Right.
This is for the newly awakened. This is for the newly conscious.
That's right.
You used to call them slumber brews,
Yep.
but they woke now.
They woke. Hallelujah.
Look at them 7s. See, people don't know this information.
No.
But we're giving it to them.
Years ago.
Right. And Jeff Benner
Right.
is the one who wrote it down, so you can't say Moreh trying to slant this thing toward the Hebrew.
Right.
Did we finish it?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. So let us recap. This is the picture of the Zayin. All right. Now, this word is related to a word in the Bible. This letter, the word Zayin, is related to a word in the Bible You see that? And I know this is deep because some of these letters we haven't got to the noon yet, and the yod. But this word right here, gazon, or chazon, however you want to pronounce it, this word right here represents the idea to feed. So write that down. To feed, F-E-E-D. Very, very important, Zayin. That you understand that this letter is related to a word that means to feed. And I think I said this on one of my videos recently coming out of Exodus, that the feeders of the world are the leaders.
That's right.
And so when Joseph,
That's right.
during the famine, remember he went, this is your history. Uncle Yosef, for some of y'all, that's your uncle. For some of y'all, that might be your grandpa.
That's right.
Because he had Ephraim and Manasseh. You know what I'm saying? So all of the people from Ephraim and all of the people from Manasseh, I'm talking to you about your grandfather right now and how wonderful of a man he was. The world was going to go through a famine, and the Pharaoh had a vision.
That's right.
And it was during that vision that it was 7 good years and 7 years coming that was more terrible, so terrible they would forget the good years.
Right.
And it was your grandfather, if you're from Ephraim and Manasseh, and for the rest of us, that was your uncle who said, store the grain.
That's right.
And do you remember the Pharaoh was like, man, we don't know how to do that.
He
I said, you Egyptologists, y'all you following a culture who by their own confession said, we can't store no grain, man, we need you to do it. And he was like, oh no, I'm sure there's somebody.
Get one of your best.
Yeah, get the best and the brightest of Egypt. He said, come on, man, quit playing. These people worship the green goony goo goo god.
Oh, dung
man,
beetle
they got a dung beetle god. These fools don't know nothing about it. Man, come on, man, show us how to do it. And so Yosef showed them how to keep the corn.
Got it all in order.
And Egypt became a world superpower.
Feeding other nations.
Yes. So, feeding is where when we talk about the Zayin, keep in your mind the idea of to be able to feed. Because when we see what it represents, we see how each time it comes back to a function to be able to help feed someone.
That's right. That's right.
All right. All right. I need my glasses so I can see what I ain't looking at. All right. So now we're going to look at this idea. Same word. And now that we know that this word has something to do with food, F-O-O-D. So the action is to feed. Write that down. The object or the thing that you're going to feed people is what? It ain't hard. Food. Man, I wasn't planning on doing this tonight. But you do know there's some things out here folks is eating ain't food, right?
Come on. A whole lot.
So you young, some of you young people, I'm sorry, newly awakened people watching me. Yah makes a distinction in the scripture between what is food.
Right.
And what is not. I need you to write that down, Zayin, because, Zayin.
Right.
Everything you shove down your throat.
Don't make it food.
Can you explain
there's
that?
Food, and there's things which are detestable and abominable to consume. Food is for your nourishment.
Yes, sir.
He's giving us food to eat.
Yes.
There's things that we can eat. We can eat pieces of paper. You ain't gonna call that food.
Right.
But
and if
somehow,
what if your baby daughter or your niece, when she was little, what if it was a mouse caught in a trap? And she ran over there, man. Would you be like,
ooh, the whole house.
Yeah, it's food.
Right. It's meat.
She's eating the mouse. She's eating the mouse.
It's meat.
It's meat. It's protein. What would y'all do?
It's organic. Just because they put organic on it.
You see
Don't
what I'm
make
saying?
it right. It ain't food.
So watch this, Zayin. There was a time when our culture, I'm not talking about the heathen now.
Right.
I'm talking about our culture. We designated
Come on.
certain things food
Right.
and other things an abomination.
That's right.
So, pig, just like that mouse caught in a trap, was never considered food for
Right.
us. None of our people looked at that and said, we just caught lunch.
I can't wait.
Now, it's some pagan cultures, boy,
Right.
they got traps set up all in the swamps,
Right.
catching rats and eating them.
Just devouring them.
But when we look at that, we go, nah, we pass. Say, why? That's not food.
Right.
And so I have to go along with this, Zayin, because this is one of our major issues as a nation. One of our issues as a nation is the Zayin is trying to tell you something about the importance of food.
Yeah.
Because what we should be eating is food. Now I'm going to give you a spiritual connection. Remember in the Bible, he says, there's famines came in the land,
Right.
like in the case of Joseph
Right.
in Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think it's over in, I don't want to lead you astray. I know it's a minor prophet who said there'll be another famine.
Well, from the word.
Let me look that up. Tell him what that verse.
That food, that word of the Most High, it's going to be a point in time where we're not receiving that food, that which is good. I'm sure somebody's going to post the verse. Amos, I know. Yeah, Z put Amos. I don't know what.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the Amos 8.
Amos 8.
Let's look it up. Amos 8, let's go to verse 11. See, this is for the people waking up to truth. I want to show you something because remember, this letter it represents to feed. So we're going to see something about food. Not everything we eat on the physical level, as far as Yah is concerned, is food. So watch this. If it's true on the physical level, then not everything we eat on a spiritual level
Right.
is food.
Right.
We found out what food was based on Hamashiach. Remember
Right.
when Hamashiach got it from Deuteronomy.
That's right.
But nevertheless, the devil said, turn these stones to bread. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth
That's
of
right.
Yah, which tells us what? That the words of the Torah is our food.
That's right.
Then the word became flesh and dwelt among us. And then the king said, you need to eat my body, drink my flesh. They said, man, is he a cannibal? He was like, no, I ain't talking about no eating physical bodies. That's unclean. He said, the words I speak to you, you need to eat them because my words are true. My words are food.
Right.
In actuality, my word is Torah. So the purpose of the Zayin, the action, is to produce food.
Mm-hmm.
All right, come on, let's get that.
Amos 8, verse 11. Behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah Elohim, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst of water, but of hearing the words of Yahuwah.
He said that not of bread, not of thirst, but of hearing the word. There will be a time when they will be hearing everything but Torah.
Come on.
Current events.
Everything.
Black Lives Matter.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and men, y'all need to do this. Yeah. Hold on, sisters. Y'all need to stop doing some of this. Brother like, yeah. Boy, Rev preached today. Rev ain't said nothing.
Not a thing.
He ain't taught you the word, the law, statutes, and the commandments. Boy, we're living in that day.
We are.
Where folk can go to worship and study and never hear the word of Yah. And I realized something. How can they hear without a preacher?
That's what the script says.
They can't hear it if the preachers ain't preaching
That's
the word.
right.
If they're preaching their own self or their doctrine or their denomination.
Right.
I'm Baptist born and Baptist bred, and when I die, I'll be a
doctrines.
Baptist dead. Then you're going to be a dead Baptist. Because ain't no Baptist gate. Ain't no Baptist gate in the kingdom.
Teaching those doctrines of men.
And that's an abomination.
It is.
All right. Let us move on. If y'all can clearly understand that the purpose of design, the end game is feeding. And what do we feed? Not garbage, not GMOs,
Right.
genetically modified GMW,
organisms.
genetically modified word of Yah, where man done went in there and changed the Bible.
Right, come on.
No, we gotta feed the food. That we understand that's where it's at, and it starts in an agricultural term that represents a plow. So I'm gonna once again put up Jazz's picture here that she put on the card, and then show you the agricultural picture of a Hebrew behind a plow. Now, he was working in somebody else's field.
That's right.
Because the question is he a homeborn slave? What is wrong with Zayin always in somebody else's field?
That's all we do.
But that thing he's behind is a Zayin. All right? It's a instrument used to break up soil.
That's right.
All right? So if everybody can understand that, put an 11, and then we'll move on to show you your culture. All right, now that you got this.
Sharecropping, yep, even then.
Exactly. So we're going to show you your culture. Your people use tools to plow. And here's one of them. Once again, Todah Rabbah, taking this right, you see the ancient Hebrew from Jeff Benner, who gave permission. He said, if you read his books, he said, as long as you're not hustling my stuff, you can use it to help people understand. Todah Rabbah for his generosity. I probably would have used it anyway. It's ours.
That's what I was about to say. We're just taking it back.
He took it from, he confessed he went to East Africa to figure
right.
out this stuff.
That's right.
Talked to our cousins. And they said, oh yeah, we still use this in the backyard. There go one right there. He was like, dang. Where y'all tractors
like that
at?
one?
Yeah. Where y'all tractors at? He said, oh no, man, we still on the bottom, even in the Holy Land. Ain't no electricity out here in these tents. Ain't no gas.
Well,
even in the Holy Land, we on the bottom.
Even there.
Are we really still in the land, man, in tents and in shanty towns?
The land still has to be trampled down by the heathens.
I
and
saw it
Gentiles.
myself, man, when I went there. I went to the places where they put the real bloodline.
Right.
They was in slums.
Kick them to the skirts.
They were in shanty towns.
Yep. Group them together in
Yeah, they was all grouped all together, man. They were just hanging out.
the ghetto.
So,
You ever look up that word ghetto?
yes, Hebrew. Did you know, you found that out too? The word ghetto is a Hebraic word.
Dealing with where
And they
we
put
are.
you in the ghetto, which is actually Hebraic.
That thing is hilarious.
Okay, let's get back to this lesson,
Yeah.
man. We'll be here all night. Here's the word. It means to cut. All right? Now, everybody write that word down, because one of the major tools in agriculture, as well as war,
Right.
is a tool that cuts.
That's it.
So what does cutting do? Cutting always divides.
That's right.
It's a very important concept. Remember, Hebrews operated functionally.
Right.
So let's take now the idea of cutting and let's examine that further. When you get ready to plant and you go outside to the soil, the reason you're going out here in the first place is for food, right?
That's right.
The end game is to produce food for your family.
Right.
So when you go out there, one of the first things you're going to have to do is get an instrument that can cut that soil.
That's right.
Write that down, Zayin. If the family gonna eat, we gotta find an instrument that can cut the soil.
That's right.
It has to be able to cut the ground. We call that a plow. When Paul, who's our cousin, was talking to Timothy, he says, study to show yourself approved, a workman that need not be ashamed, rightly dividing. That word means cutting it right. So the idea of the Zayin to cut the soil means in order to put the seed in, there have to be some cutting,
Right.
and then it's gonna open up the soil to then receive the seed. So you need the cutting. And therefore, unfortunately, sometimes when Moray preach, he got to do some cutting because of the rough and hard soils of the hearts of men and women. So the cutting goes forth. The cutting is necessary to plant the seed. That we pray once the seed is planted, it don't hit that rock, it don't fall on no stony ground and get choked out by the weeds. The prayer is that once the plow goes through the ground, it's ready to receive the seed to produce fruit so people can eat food. If y'all catch that concept, if y'all caught that concept, let's see, put a 21 in there. Yes, hold that. Yeah. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. Yes, I'm going there, man. Put a 21. Toda Rabbah, 21s is in the room. All right. Beautiful. 21s. Okay, so you caught that concept. That's very important. The next level, man, I was just telling you about writing on that scratch paper, and I done dropped it.
Uh-oh.
Hold on. Here it is. The next level of cutting, the very next level of cutting are weeds.
I can't stand them weeds.
What you know about weeds from the city, man? What happened?
Well, you know I moved out here to the country now, so.
Did I warn you, though?
You did.
Did I try to have, like, very calm conversations so it didn't run you back to the city?
Right.
I tried to tell you, I said, hey, man, it's some enemies out there.
They could pop up quick.
Never seen that in your life, have you?
So fast.
Or I should say it like this.
Never paid attention.
Right. Tell the world that you can clean a field and come back 2 days later.
Right.
And it's full of weeds.
Full of weeds. I'm like, did somebody come and plant this purposely? How'd that thing grow so fast? And set up some deep roots.
Right. Okay, so the next level, again, this is all to produce food now. The very next level, once we cut the soil, then you're gonna find yourself cutting what? We just talking about.
Cutting weeds.
You're gonna cut weeds. So you need another cutting tool. All right, so you got another cutting tool. We're still talking about the Zayin. The Zayin.
Cut out that which looks like food but ain't.
Because now we got to cut out the weeds. We got to cut out, especially the ones that are trying to mimic the food that we're trying to prepare for our families. You do know that a watermelon that's GMO and a watermelon that's heirloom look the same from the outside.
Come on. Right.
But when you cut it open, one got seeds and one don't.
Right.
Which means one has life inside.
Come on.
The other one is dead.
That's it.
You're like, man, wait. This second one been tampered with.
That's right. That's good.
This heirloom seed, this heirloom melon, these big old black seeds in here, boy, we know that's straight heirloom.
Right.
In other words, we can take those seeds out and replant them again and again and again for 1,000,000 years if it lasts that long.
Right.
Because it's a digital transfer. So we could literally be eating the same kind of watermelon that our forefathers ate in Africa.
Right.
In East Africa.
Right.
So once it get tampered with, now we got a problem.
Right.
So Zayin, again, understand something. The word of Yah over time was not supposed to be tampered with.
No.
Did he say something about adding to it and taking away?
Take away.
Explain that, what he was trying to tell us when it came to that.
Don't be trying to add in extra things just because you think it sounds good or it fits the time. You know, people try to take the simpleness of the truth of the word and make it apply to different things where it don't apply. And I'm just going to add this little bit in. That's not what it says. We get that with, we saw that quickly with Chawah. With Eve in the garden.
Yes. Oh, man, that was a good point.
She did a real quick one. She just said, Yah said we shouldn't eat of this tree nor touch it. He didn't say that. But she put that in there. So once she touched it, she said, well, nothing happened.
Yeah.
You might as well go ahead and eat it. So it's something little like that. You think it's little, but
it gets
it's
subtle.
taken away from the word of Yah.
Food is precious, Zayin. And the way most people in this country get poisoned is through food.
Right.
Somebody messing with the food. All right, so it's the husbandman or the farmer's responsibility when they go out in that field, be like, okay, I know what is the real seed and I know what's weeds. So I have to remember to cut out the weeds so that the actual real seeds can grow. Right. All right, we're going to a third level of cutting.
And we had a couple weeds this year, our first year gardening
like go
this.
Ahead.
And we're letting it grow, and we're like, man, that one's shooting up quicker than the rest. We didn't know it was a weed. Up here nurturing this weed. And then remember the other weed I told you about? I saw a weed that was attracting all these bees. I said, let me dig up this weed and pull it out and have the bees around me. And I put the weed in some dirt, and that weed died. I said, how I kill a weed by giving it something? It wasn't for it.
So y'all see, I've been telling people this for a while, but they don't listen to the moray sometimes. No sermon on the world could teach you what experience taught you, right?
You gotta see it.
Working in that field.
That's right.
And that's what we try to tell Zayin. Zayin, we need to go outside.
Right. And our people knew this. That's why, we keep talking about the culture of Scripture. And that's why Mashiach talked with agricultural terms all the time. They knew it.
Good.
We don't know what it means nowadays.
Right.
Wheat and tares. To city folk, you don't know what that means.
But when you move to the country,
right,
and so did Obadiah.
Right.
Obadiah ain't called me in like 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Obadiah, if you watch this video, man, you better give Maury a call, man. You out there choking on them. What them weeds got you discouraged? You done threw the shovel down, man. Obadiah, call your brother, man, because I know it's rough.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work.
It is.
You're gonna need tractors and all that because. The field work ain't no joke. Why you think they wouldn't got us to do it?
Right.
They needed the best and they needed the brightest. So, and you remember Chawah moved out here and have a garden and stuff.
Yeah.
And I bumped into her not too long ago, and she was telling me, she said it's something to be done every day.
Every day. There's no day to sleep in. It's work every day.
She said, every day, I'm got to cut this, pick this, pluck this, move this, clean this. She said, I have to literally say, I'm going to stop at a particular time of the day so I don't be working all day,
and that
every
Shabbat
day.
It's so much better.
And now you understand Shabbat.
Forward to that Shabbat.
I told you around when he came
more
out
than
here.
You ever did.
I said, you stay out here just a little while longer. You won't be having no questions when Shabbat start. But you be trying to start Shabbat at 12 o'clock on Friday. You be like, ain't the sun going down?
It's late.
Man, hey, when you okay, we got to continue.
Yeah, we got to go.
Third level. Y'all put a 30 in this chat. Put a 30 in the chat. I'm going to show you the third level of cutting because we're looking at the function of the Zayin. Put a 30. We're going to go to the third level. The function of the Zayin, the Zayin.
Zayin?
The Zayin, man, is to prune, or what we call to thin, but I'm going to use the word today, to prune. All right? Thank you for them 30s. Because, see, now you understand. See, we need to know why this is in here, because these letters are more than just letters. They represent a function to an end.
Right.
So, them 30s is running through here, so understanding is going forward. The third level we want to look at is to prune.
Yeah.
So let's say once you've already cut the soil, okay, so that we could put the seeds in.
Right.
Then we got to cut the weeds so they won't kill all the. Then when the actual plant starts to grow,
if you don't do that,
you have to learn how to cut off
right.
that which is not bringing nutrients to the fruit.
Right.
See, out here we got so many different kinds.
Right.
So we have I don't even know if I can use this term on YouTube, but anyway, we have like sucker vines. We call them like little stems. We used to call them suckers when I was a kid.
Right, they suck off nutrients.
Right, they suck in the nutrients. They're not going to put on any fruit, but they're just stems and branches and leaves and stuff that grow on your plant that are really not helping the plant, even though it's a part of the plant. So what we have to learn how to do is cut that off.
Cut them suckers off. We gotta do. We gotta cut them real suckers off.
He said we cut the suckers off. And boy, in your life, Zayin, you got some suckers. You're gonna learn that in the Zayin. You're gonna have to cut suckers off if you're gonna produce fruit. Because you're gonna have suckers hanging around you. You're gonna have suckers lying on you. You're gonna have suckers backstabbing you. You're gonna have suckers drawing you down and making your life unfruitful.
Right.
Even though they are part of you.
Come on.
I read that verse one time and I couldn't believe it. You know, the Most High said, if we're going to run this race, we got to learn how to lay aside every sin. Right there, that got me. I'm like, boy, I got so many sins. Man, where do I start? He said, just start on the first one and work your way to the rest.
Every day.
So I said, okay, I get that. And then he said, and every weight.
That's right.
Which means that all weights are not sin, but all weights that hinder us from running have to be taken apart. Remember in John, he said, any vine that is not producing fruit, my Father gonna come and cut it.
Cast into the fire.
Because there's a goal. The end goal is food. The end goal is not to see how many sucker vines I can grow.
A big plant producing nothing.
Right. Man, what's the point of that, man?
The goal of growing plants for food is to grow food, not flowers, not leaves.
Oh, my good. Right.
Stems.
You want to see how big you can grow your plant. No, I want to know how many squash I can get on here. So everything that's pulling away have to be cut. And that's a definition of design, is to cut. All right?
People still talking about the cutting people off. And saw somebody said, be blocked and be blessed. I don't know what else to say, but that's funny.
All right. Then the next thing you got to do is, okay, put a 4 in the room, put a 40, because we on number 4. The fourth thing we have to do with the cutting, remember, Zayin, we on 40 now. Put a 40 in the chat. When you get ready to harvest, you got to go cut the fruit to eat it.
Yes.
Don't you have to go to the field and harvest it?
Oh, my gosh.
Tell me this, man. Has there ever been a piece of fruit that just popped off the vine and walked into your house, jumped on the counter and be like, all right, here I am?
That'd be a GMO for sure. I ain't eating that. I'm like, what? No.
How did this, man?
It's work from beginning to end.
Oh, man, you took it right out. You took it. Look, it's work in the preparation of the soil. It's work in trying to get rid of, we make it simple for the young people. It's work getting the weeds out, because you got to do that every day.
Cutting.
It's work pruning.
Cutting.
Then you got to go back out there.
Right.
And bring in the harvest.
You gotta cut that fruit and vegetable.
So you're going to have to cut the wheat.
Yep.
You're going to have to go cut the corn. You're going to have to go cut the whatever else you're pulling out there. Right. Some of that stuff you're going to sever with your hand, but you're still cutting it.
You're dividing it.
You're still dividing it. You're still separating
Cutting it off of its source.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that you can consume it, which represents preparation.
That's right.
Now hear me, Zayin. As much as Yaron and I try to study to help Zayin, there's going to come a time when you're going to have to learn how to go cut the fruit.
Yeah.
You're going to have to learn how to go out in that field, which is the word of Yah, into the good vine.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go to the fig tree. You're going to have to cut your fruit. You're going to have to learn how to find your good food.
That's right.
What we're allowing the world to do on a physical level is produce all our food for us.
Right.
Right? So we never get our own beans.
Don't even think about it.
We're not even raising greens. That's one of the easiest things to raise.
Right.
We're not raising collard greens. We letting somebody else do all that for us, and then wonder why we're in the condition we're in as a people.
Come on.
And wonder why our people is dependent upon the system like they are. You know this. It don't take that much land, does it?
Sure don't.
To feed your family.
Mm-mm.
Most of y'all could do it. I promise you.
Get some buckets and dirt. Fill them up.
If you got a backyard big enough to play around in, you know, just like a backyard, let's say if you're not living in an apartment, if you have any kind of a backyard, you got enough space to feed your family. Mm-hmm. They got a guy doing it in LA and you know, LA lots are small.
Right.
And he just wanted to prove a point. He said, man, y'all can do it anywhere. And I'm just making a point, Zayin, because just like people are doing all the feeding physically, and they're feeding you some garbage too.
Right.
You got other preachers and teachers out here that are also feeding you. And instead of you taking out time to do some work, to go into the word yourself and find fruit, go into the word of Yah yourself and cut down some nourishment to consume. You'll find yourself trying to eat off of everybody else's plate. And let me tell you something. My mama taught me that lesson, man, when I was like 2 years old.
Everybody's table.
What'd she say?
Don't eat at everybody's table or eat from everyone's table.
Don't eat from everybody's table. I said, why not? I didn't know till I was way older. Some people just nasty.
Yeah.
But my mama knew it.
That's right.
My daddy knew it.
Right.
So when you go over there, don't eat. I said, what do you mean? You can go over there and play with so-and-so, but when you get home, you come home. Never understood that. Then later on found out that she was washing her greens in the washing machine. What the hell?
No, she wasn't.
Putting greens in the washing machine, man. Where your dirty clothes was? Boy, what is wrong with Talking about, man, I just threw them in there a lot quicker.
Oh, no.
Somebody else was washing their greens in the bathtub. I know you think I'm lying. I'm telling the truth. That's why you don't eat at everybody's house.
I seen a picture of somebody doing that, so I
They put greens in the bathtub. That's lazy. What is wrong with Zayin?
Pulling stuff out your teeth.
Now, there you go. There you go.
That's gross.
You don't eat off everybody's plate. You don't know where they got what, how they prepared it.
Right.
Then you go home, your stomach in knots, and boy. I
didn't have nothing but some greens.
You sitting on the toilet asking for more paper, knocking on doors, trying to open windows. They say, what is wrong with you? Because you toe up. Eating off of everybody's plate. And if it's true in the physical.
Come on, take it back to the spiritual.
It's got to be true in the spiritual.
Right.
So what we're trying to do is take these tools, put them in your hands, so that then you can now go into the word, rightly divide the word of truth, but ultimately be able to eat from the scriptures. The food or the fruit that the scriptures actually are producing, instead of letting somebody else tamper with it and then put it on your plate.
Right.
All right. Number 5. Put 5-0 in the text. We're moving on. Man, we're making our way through this lesson.
Yeah.
Put a number 5-0 in the text. I'm going to show you another way that we got to look at cutting and how cutting is going to help us in the process of developing food for the table. And that is a weapon. Now,
here we go.
You can pick that. Give me that one shot, that picture you had. Pull it back up.
Yeah, that's the one that.
So, in the country, while he's finding that, I want to show you. There go a weapon. Okay, that can be used. Appreciate that. Go in there and find a sickle. Find on the thing. Find a sickle. So what our people did, Zayin, we understood the concept of cutting, and we understood that some of our tools that we used for cutting crops or cutting yeah, primarily trees or crops or whatever, we realize something, that if it can cut a tree limb, fruits and vegetables, stocks, it could also cut people.
Sure can.
Right?
Sure can.
If it can cut the ground, man, it can cut through a heathen, can't it?
Quick.
I mean, if you can slice a piece of limb
Right.
off a tree this big, man, for sure, man, you can dismember an enemy.
And everybody will have one.
So what? Thank you. So what our people learn how to do is that they use their agricultural tools, and they also mastered the art of war.
That's right.
By turning the agricultural tools into weapons.
That's right.
And yes, that's our thing, you Asian thieves. We are the original Afro-Asiatics. And all of your Kung Fu movies and Tai Chi movies, we know y'all got it from us. Because we're the original. So guess what? We knew how to use the plow for a weapon.
Right.
We knew how to use the scythe. We knew how to use the pole.
Right.
We knew how to use the sickle. We knew how to turn the blades and all that stuff. And we look like regular old farmers out there.
Right.
But don't mess with us.
That's what it says right here. You just type in sickle on Google Images, and right below it says farming and weapon. They
Look,
know, they give
man,
you two
that is, man, that's wonderful. What? How'd you do that?
I didn't do anything.
Do you see it says, on one side it says farming. And right next to it, it says what?
Weapon.
The Zayin. That's the Zayin. That's our culture. So all we have to do to turn this into a sword, well, it already is a sword, but we just straighten it out.
Yep.
So once we straighten it out, then it turns into a sword and it's a weapon. So you say, Maury, so what does a weapon have to do with food? Sometimes you're gonna have to fight to feed your family.
Right.
Because you got some people that will sneak in your fields at night and rob you. They will try to come after all that hard labor. So you have to then learn how to fight to protect the food.
Right.
Because the food is for, to protect the field, because the field is going to produce the food that you're going to feed to your family. So you need Zayin. You need a Zayin.
Right.
You need the function of the Zayin.
Right.
Go
I'm gonna read what the image earlier that Drika found. It says Zayin from the word mazon, meaning food, as in what sustains us. Symbolized by an axe to show that we need to strive to sustain ourselves, as in we must first kill before we can eat an animal.
Now,
it's a whole different one.
Told our Rabbi Drika, because that right there, man, oh my goodness. What that's doing for Zayin tonight is helping us understand the coalition between what we would call, like in battle, righteous war and unrighteous.
Right.
You know, when we would go to war, it always have to be righteous.
Right.
We couldn't involve ourselves in unrighteous fights. Just to fight, just to be fighting.
Turned out bad for us.
Right. Abba Yah wasn't for that. So we see the idea of to cut. And then we see the idea food. So to get food, there's going to be some cutting.
Right.
You're cutting the ground, cutting weeds, you're pruning, but then you may have to cut somebody.
That's right.
Or cut something.
That's right.
Man, I done had to cut a bunch of squirrels out here.
Man.
Now, I didn't cut them with a knife. I cut them with a bullet.
I just did the other day.
You know what I'm saying?
Squirrels will cut all your food.
Yeah, because if not, they'll do the cutting themselves. They got little teeth.
All the food up.
Man, they'll come out in your garden.
All my spinach and kale was chomped up. I said, what?
I said,
these squirrels got to go.
Oh, so you're getting more and more country every day. I'm starting to understand something.
It don't take long, Zayin.
I know you was thinking, man, Maury exaggerating, man.
No.
Look, when you go out there months ahead of time, and you know me, I'm on tractors and stuff.
Right.
And shovels and stuff,
been
right?
waiting for the stuff.
And
to
then
grow.
you putting out, and then Hula and them, man, they pretty much doing the planting and all the watering, right? And then weeks at a time, you waiting and you pulling weeds, and then as soon as it get ready to eat,
You getting ready?
a varmint come in.
Some got it before you.
I'm talking about and eat it to the dirt, man. I never, man, look.
Man, they done killed so many squash. And
Who to be like,
chop
hey.
everything down.
She be like, yo. I'll be like, huh? In the garden. I look out there and oh, man. What I got to do? I got to go get him. I got to go get it out of there, right?
Cut it down.
It's got to be cut down. We use that term when things are killed.
Right.
It was cut down.
You had to cut it.
So the tools are also used as our weapons. Now, that's individual.
Yeah.
What about a nation?
That's right.
If a nation is being attacked by another nation, eventually what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to feed your family.
That's right.
If they take over all the land, they take all the food, the resources, and you're not able to provide, the only way you're going to be able to live is you're going to have to fight back.
Right.
And in fighting back, you can't be afraid to cut somebody.
That's right.
You got to, it's what's going to happen. So
Kill
you
will
see,
be killed.
Yeah, because now you're not just going out to war just to go. You're trying to provide
Survive.
and protect your family.
Right.
Which leads me to, I was going to spend more time on this last one, nourishment. But I think I'm going to save that. I'm going to save the word nourishment for a little bit later because the idea of food and eating healthy, right, is very, very, very important for our people. But I think we should spend more time on that later.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pass that one and go to. I don't know why I was even using that one. All right. So now let me tell you where I want to go. I want you to understand that the next thing I want you to see is it's a weapon. You may have to cut people or animals or any enemy. Third, it can also be, the Zayin can also be a scepter.
Before we get into that, mind if I hit that Isaiah real quick?
No, go ahead.
So I'm sure it might have even popped up in the room already, but both in Isaiah chapter 2 and Micah chapter 4, you get that same principle.
Come on.
I'll start at verse 3. And many people shall go and say, come, and let us go up to the mountain of Yahuwah, to the house of Elohim of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. How you walk in that path is already cut and laid out for us. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of Yahuwah from Jerusalem. Verse 4, and he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn of war anymore.
So when you think that is?
Oh, that's coming.
Right.
I'm looking forward to that.
That's
day.
that millennium time.
Yeah.
That's when the King of Kings and the Master of Master rules.
You're right.
Boy, he gonna set it straight, ain't he?
Be peace for once. Ain't been peace in the so-called Middle East. We're gonna get it.
Bullets and bombs is just not gonna work under his authority. I'm looking forward to it.
So they're gonna take those weapons, turn them back into plowshares.
Because the original meaning is a plow.
That's right.
Then it has to turn into a weapon.
Right.
So then he'll turn it back.
Hopefully I didn't jump ahead to
No. Because I got it. My next point is the scepter. Remember I mentioned that to you earlier? So let's go to that Genesis passage. Genesis 49 and 10. All right, we can move into another area. Put a 6-0. We're going to talk about another idea of the Zayin. Put a 6-0 because we're on point number 6, dealing with the Zayin. We're going to talk now about this idea of a scepter, because our king's scepter is a weapon. It's not just a stick.
That's right.
And even if it was a stick, he would be able to use that stick as a weapon. But our king's scepter is a weapon. And there's two things that our king will always have. He will always have his Zayin, and he will always have his Lamed.
That's right.
He's going to always have his rod and his staff.
That's right.
Our king, Zion, I hope y'all hearing me, will always have his scepter and his shepherd's staff, always. He's always going to have his scepter, because the scepter, and I'm just going to jump to the conclusion, his scepter is his sword.
That's right.
So he's going to have a sword, and he's going to have a shepherd's staff.
That's right.
And we can't get them mixed up. We don't want to mix up the sword
Right.
and the shepherd's staff.
So don't.
Because he can hit you with the shepherd's staff.
He'll bruise you.
Yeah, just a little
He'll
bruise. Make you get back in
make
line.
it correct.
Straighten up.
Get straightened out. Yeah.
But if he say, "Oh, I didn't mean to swing the sword as hard as I swung," well, you gonna be dead, ain't you? Like,
That's
man. So you know how he deals with us then,
Right.
as a shepherd.
That's right.
But how does he really deal with the enemy? With the sword.
That's right.
Now I know what you're saying. In the sword, the word of sword. Yes, I get that.
Right.
But I want y'all to think agriculturally. I want you to really try to understand this Zayin. This letter has all of these meanings in it. So that our people, when they saw the king, they are always looking for at least two things. They know that the king has to have the lamet, because obviously the lamet is a shepherd's staff. He's our great shepherd. But he also has to fight. So he must know how to do what? Wield a sword.
That's right.
We got two kings back to back. Well, for lack of better, just for understanding, Saul and David.
Right. Get down.
Now, what made David a more complete king than Saul? We never hear of Saul's shepherding skills,
Right.
but we do hear of his sword wielding skills.
Man.
He wasn't no joke. Him and his boy.
Right.
Woo, him and Jonathan
It was
wasn't
slice and
nobody.
dice.
Man, even David had to confess when they died, when they got killed. He said, man, in battle, they wasn't nothing to be played with when he was in his strength.
Right.
So, our kings were warrior kings.
That's right.
Write that down. Everybody in the room, write that down. Among Israel,
Right.
our kings were warrior kings. The worst king we had, who no doubt busted hell wide open, he was worshiping the devil, died on the battlefield.
Yeah.
Or was killed on the battlefield.
Right. They will at least go out there. They ain't.
They going to fight.
Right.
I'm talking about the worst king we had.
Yeah.
Went out there and fought. He was married to the devil.
Right. Sure was.
Wasn't this woman the devil? Jezebel?
Yes, she was.
But he was a warrior.
Can't see any of these leaders nowadays
But right. So you know that's not our culture.
bunkering.
You know that's not our culture, man. You cannot. Listen, that's one reason why our people have a difficult time
Yeah.
following certain leaders.
Right.
Because they weak as water.
Right.
You run, they got no heart.
None.
No umption, no gumption. Their voice is too high. Man, woo, I can't follow nobody talk like this. Can I imagine? No, man, bring your voice down. You're trying to lead
Right.
Zion. You don't got no roar. You
None.
just got a meow. No, I can't follow you, Hebrew. But I'm really a good fighter. Your voice too high. And your jeans is too skinny. It's hard for us to follow skinny jeans.
So is.
I'm talking about in the battle.
Right.
Now, some of y'all, you want to go, in fashion, you might want to follow little skinny jean to the mall. Or if y'all going to play Fortnite or something, y'all on the computer, yeah, you can follow skinny jean over there. But that high-talking skinny jean wearing, no. Our leaders are warriors.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, even if we never have to fight,
Right.
the fact is we will fight.
Quick. It shouldn't take nothing.
Man, I told y'all already. Boy, I dropped the dog so fast over here the other day, man. Come running at me on my property.
Right. You got kids
a pack
around.
of them.
Nah, they got to go.
A pack of dogs. And normally, man, I just get out the car with them, man. They just take off, man. But these was three big dogs. So I guess they was bad, right? Man, that dog, man, ran towards me. Man, I didn't flinch. Man, it wasn't long, man. And the rest of them took off like scalded dogs, right? Because my babies could have been outside.
That's all it takes.
A dog running at you, it don't take nothing, man. I didn't think twice about dropping him.
Right.
You understand the management? Now, can you imagine Skinny Jean out there?
Oh, man.
He yelling.
He can't run.
Because he's sagging and Skinny Jean. Yeah, so now we're not following him in the battle. We ain't mad at Skinny Jean, but we want a leader. We want a leader who got some unction. We said, that dude Saul,
right.
He bigger than everybody.
Right, head and shoulders above.
Man, get him.
Right.
That's our culture. I'm not saying it was right. I'm saying that's what they did.
Right.
And then when it came to David had killed Goliath. They said, oh man, get David. He's the king.
Yep.
So what about the other one? No, they don't have a heart.
He didn't have it.
Now,
Saul should have been out there, I always say.
But of course he should have.
He's the tallest they got.
And then he tried to put his armor on Dawid. Dawid said, man, you about to get me killed.
You can't move in this thing.
I can't swing. Man, your sword is taller than me, man. I can't swing this thing. What is wrong with you, Saul? Get my little smooth stone. Right. I'm going to battle. I'm going to knock this uncircumcised Philistine right in the middle of his head, cut his head off, feed it to the animals, and then man, Israel can stand up again.
That's right.
That's why you better not come with no apologetic video tomorrow.
Man, nope, man.
None of us. Man, we over here fighting the devil.
Y'all watching better not have no apologetic video.
Hey, and they think we just talking.
Man.
They have no clue.
We done already told the families multiple times.
They have no clue about
they ain't backing down.
Man, look. They need to leave this leadership thing to those who've been called to lead.
That's right. That's right.
Those who understand what it means to carry the scepter.
Right.
But we also must carry the lamed.
That's right.
The shepherd's staff. So there's a time that we got to be very kind and gentle.
Right.
You know, I don't show the scepter side all the time because I got little kids that call me Uncle Moray. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yes, I love the kids, man. They Uncle Moore. But let somebody come try to attack the kids. They gonna see another side of Uncle Moore they ain't never seen before.
King Dawid had his time where he was killing and then playing harps.
Right.
You could be at peace.
I may not have a harp, but I got a string instrument. I got a bass.
There's times of peace and there's time for
war. I want y'all to understand that, Zayin. That our leadership, that's the kind of people we gravitate to. It's natural, it's our DNA. And you wonder now why? Have you ever heard of these women talking about they got the thug bug?
Oh man, yeah.
Which is ridiculous, by the way.
Right, but
many of them going to hell for that.
We
but I'm trying to show you some of that's in your DNA.
We get it.
Because you're trying to find somebody who's willing to put his life on the line.
That's right.
But unfortunately, he putting his life on the line for some dumbass as a piece of color rag.
A block is
and that's stupid because a real man ain't finna go upside the head of his woman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Talking about, we ain't gonna do that tonight.
No.
But that's not a real man.
Right.
And it ain't no real woman who always want to do something sneaky and weird behind the back. See, that's not Zayin.
No, it sure ain't. That's not what we're supposed to be.
When we supposed to get together, we're supposed to become one. Is that the word?
That is. But we living under these curses still, as we know. So we gotta deal with it.
And all through our history, we find when the family unit understands who carries the scepter.
That's right. Who carries the lamed.
And who carries the lamed. That normally things go better.
Right.
When the man understands it's a time for the scepter and it's a time for lamed.
Right.
That things go much better.
Right. And
that all come from our word. We still dealing with Zayin because the Zayin is also a scepter, which is also a weapon.
That's right.
Now let's see whether or not more is in the Bible. Come on, get that. Get that
Genesis
yet?
49.
Come on.
49 verse 10. The scepter shall
Oh, wait, back up.
verse 9.
Yeah, we gotta start with him. Judah is a lion's whelp.
Okay, verse 9. Judah is a lion's whelp from the prey. My son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he crouched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up?
Woo! Now look, Zayin, those of you who watching me right now, you're just waking up to truth. Most of us are from the line of Judah. You're just watching me right now. You don't know your last name. Judah got his name for sure taken because in 70 AD, right. Man, them Romans and them Europeans did a job on us, as well as the Arabs. So Judah got taken last. We were the last people to go into captivity 400 years ago.
Right.
So we talking to you. This is your culture right here.
That's right.
So when you go in this Genesis and read that Judah is a lion's whelp, that means Judah, you see, a lion's whelp is a lion's child.
A cub.
It's a cub. So who's the lion? Israel.
Come on.
Israel was saying, Judah, boy, you like me. You my boy. Hey, if Israel is representation of a lion,
right.
You the lion's whelp. You somebody, man. I don't know how I got all these boys, but Judah, man, because all of his boys could fight.
All of them.
They're all warriors.
Right.
Man, Benjamin
Come on.
was so cold-blooded, he took on almost all the 12 tribes by himself.
Right.
And so eventually what ended up happening? Benjamin sided with Judah when the kingdom split. The baby boy,
Right.
who could have went with Ephraim and Manasseh because they had the same mama and the same daddy. But he's like, no.
We with the get down.
We going with Judah because Judah is...
They ready to cut.
Man, and you know, do you know, man, when you read the Bible as a history book, instead of it being, all religious all the time, Benjamin and Judah together would have to sometime fight.
That's right.
During the civil wars. Unfortunately, we had them. They fought all the other 10 tribes at one time.
Right.
So that's where we get that lion from. It's in our DNA. And I was watching the old boxers. I ain't talking about these new boxers.
Okay.
It's a new generation, man. I can't watch this stuff too much. People who didn't watch the heyday of the Muhammad Ali years, Joe Frazier, Mike Tyson, Vander Holyfield, George Foreman, they ain't never seen no real boxers with skills and all that.
Right.
I don't know what they're watching today. This is weird. I don't watch it. But going back.
Right.
Do you know there was a time, man, where the world was seeking for just one person that wasn't Judah.
Right.
That could whoop Judah.
The great.
They were looking for what they called the Great White Hope.
Yeah.
And nary white hope, who all of them became the white dope. Not one of them, man. You can't, man. They had to have Judah fight Judah.
Had a lot of white hype.
It was just hype. Look, the only reason they even holding any belts today is because brothers decide they ain't fighting no more.
Right.
But I'm finna tell you something, man. Do you know that I saw a video of Mike Tyson at 54 years old?
Still killing.
And I said, yeah, no. I can recognize.
Nah, you can hear the trainer saying, all right, this
Man, the trainer was like, hey, boy, I'll be done put on my 38, stop this right now. Put on my 357, you hit me one more time, Mike. I ain't playing with you. I told you, we just sparring. You go into that little crazy thing you do,
Right,
boy.
you snap back.
Back up. Boy, that's what you got to do to Mike.
Shake him out of it.
Hey, because he's a lion.
Right. Snap right back into it.
Man, I started looking at these cats, how big they are and how fast they still are.
Right.
Now read what it say when you old.
Who shall rouse him up?
Said, now when you get old, you're going to be bad. Did y'all see George Foreman at, I think he was 42 years old, came back into the ring, and I think at 45, became the heavyweight champion of the world. How's that even possible? Out of the whole world,
Right.
The world. So everybody in Russia, everybody in Europe, everybody in China, everybody, the world. This dude, man, was at home barbecuing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Making the George Foreman
Man,
burgers.
flipping burgers, man, and drinking
Doritos
7-Ups and
commercials.
sweet tea.
With
And then he
George,
said,
George,
man, I'm
George.
kind of getting a little broke, man, feeding all these 10 kids.
George,
How about I go
George.
back in here, man? I got 10 Georges.
Mm-hmm.
Step back in the ring. What it say when you're old, don't rouse him up.
Don't.
So our old, 45 ain't old for us.
Right.
He went in and got the belt.
Right.
It's the Bible.
That's only a preview. What we get with, like I always say, with Moshe.
And look,
Oh,
y'all.
still get down.
None of them, Mike, Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, Holyfield, none of them could whoop David.
Come
Don't
on.
even think twice. Don't think twice. And they sure couldn't stand the Hamashiach. You can forget that.
Get it.
I ain't talking about no miracles now. I'm talking about
Squaring up.
fist to cup.
Right.
Hamashiach. That's why I told y'all. If you don't get that, I'm your king. I'm your leader. I'm Caesar Borgia. Just love and flowers. Boy, he would have never ran nobody out of a temple.
Right.
You guys, that skinny jean
Trying to
European.
flip tables.
I need you guys to go out of here. Get out of here. Get out. You're turning my father's house into a den of thieves. Boy, man, let me tell you something.
They'd have bum rushed him so quick.
Hey, his disciples would have hit him.
Oh, man, you embarrassing us, man. Get
Hey,
out of here.
hey, if you don't put some bass in your voice coming up in here, man, you going to get us all killed. If you follow somebody like that.
Oh, man, you sleek.
Into-
Just disappearing real quick. Like, shoot.
They wasn't going to have
didn't know he
it.
was
But watch this. But when Hamashiach did it,
Man.
all they could do, man, is ask questions. But nobody said, hey, man, let's take this outside and handle it man to man. Did anybody do that?
No.
So what kind of lion was he?
Come on.
I'm on this subject. I'll put this out. Do you remember when he went into the temple?
Mm-hmm.
The Pharisees had paid the police to arrest him. And, man, he got to hollering about being the living water. And if anybody is thirsty, come to me and drink and all that, right? And the Pharisees, how come y'all didn't arrest him? They said, shit. You out your mind. Man, ain't nobody.
Really that question? You see him?
You can't see. Why you didn't go get him? Man, we paid y'all good money to go get him. Man, what's wrong with y'all? They said, first of all,
All
man.
money ain't good money. I can't buy a wheelchair with that money.
Man, you sent us on a suicide mission. Have you
Man.
heard him talk?
Man, I'm trying to go home.
I just want to get to the house tonight,
Right.
man. They said nobody even talks like him.
Right. With that authority.
Never a man talk with that kind of authority. And no, we ain't putting a finger. We going home. Come on, Mama, get them kids. We going home. I thought y'all was gonna get him. Some people said he was a good. I said we going
Time
home.
to go.
Well, is he a good man or bad? Hey, we'll figure that out later.
Right.
But we going home right now
Right.
because we ain't got a chance against him. Can I give you another one?
Yeah.
You remember when he was in the
I
garden
knew you were going there.
and they came with
in
what? How did they come to get him? Based on the Bible.
They came like a mob after.
Come on, man. There it is.
If he's so sweet and
Yeah, if he's
sweet.
I'm Caesar Borgia. I'm Caesar Borgia. I'm a real skinny, ugly European. And, I just want to let the world know that they brought a whole group to come get me.
Whole
I'm
mob.
skinny and I'm pasty. Man, what is wrong with the European? Made Caesar Borgia the image of our king.
All them images. Just weak and soft and
I read somewhere where they said it was at least 600. They brought a regiment.
right.
What? Because you know a centurion is 100.
Right.
They had 100 of them at the cross.
They had to. They know about David. They know how David
They
was
brought 100 Europeans to guard the tomb.
Right.
That man was a centurion. Ain't
Right.
that the Bible? And don't centurion represent 100
Right. They rolled deep.
over one man.
Right. In charge of them.
And I'm not talking about because of his miracles. When they said, which one is he? He said, I'm right here. Boy, that fear shot through them heathens so cold-blooded. Boy, they all hit the ground like they was dead.
Worse than Mufasa. I'm right here.
Where you think Mufasa got that voice from?
Just say it.
That's James Earl Jones. Mm-hmm. You know he's a Hebrew Israelite.
Right.
When they went to go find somebody to have the greatest voice in the world to represent power and strength, did they get Caesar Borgia?
Simba, come back.
Simba, I'm your father. You ain't my daddy.
I ain't listening to you.
Man, I'm following Scar. Boy, Daddy, if you don't take them skinny jeans off, Daddy. Boy, Dad, if you don't put some bass in your voice, we'll never run the prize.
Right.
All right, where we at, man? We so far. Oh, I know why I got over talking about that scepter, and then I showed them the history of our people and what the prophecy was gonna mean. He says he couched down as a lion, stooped down. He couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? In other words, when he full grown. You better be careful. Judah ain't gonna be no joke, is what he was saying.
Yeah.
Judah will be somebody to contend with. Mm-hmm. And of course, we know right to this very day that the strongest, baddest, cold-blooded, and look, unfortunately, a whole lot of them behind prison bars right now.
Right.
You're looking at, a lot of times, you're looking at the strength of Judah, locked behind prison walls.
Chained up like a lion.
Yeah, chained up. Ain't
chained up and caged up.
Because the powers that be recognized that lion early, put them on a fast track to prison.
That's right.
They called it a pathway to the penitentiary. Mm-hmm. So they see that little lion in the first and second grade, and how everybody in the whole school was scared of him. Mm-hmm. They said, oh, we got to immediately put him towards the penitentiary.
That's right.
In the second grade.
No shame.
So, this was the first year we was going to have our children, in the little school around the corner, right? Because, things got really busy, right? Be like, you know what? We're going to still teach them every day when they get home. It's right around the corner. And we noticed that immediately, just the presence of two lionesses
changed
the whole school. They like, man, what kind of, what is going on here?
And they know who they are.
Man, Jade told me, she said, I gotta run everybody at the school. I said, Jade, you're only in the second grade. She said, it don't matter.
To change the whole game.
She said, I run everybody in the school. She said, it's only one boy in the school that can beat me running. So you talking about you in the second grade in the school go to the sixth grade, and can't nobody beat you running? What is happening here? Ari, you the smartest one on the campus? Right. You got the old people coming to you asking you for help. They recognize little lioness. And then this is up. Hula is her study. Her study is education, right? She told me something I couldn't believe. I choked up when she told me this. She said there'd been research done that some of the I hate to use the word black, but some of the little Hebrew boys, which y'all say black kids, get put on a pathway to prison in kindergarten.
They do.
I'd never heard that in my life. When she was doing the research, and she said they've actually studied to where they start a rap sheet.
Right.
On a 5-year-old, on a 4-year-old, 5-year-old. I could not believe it, and it's proven.
Right.
So once they say that child is this, he can't do this, right? Then they take that and go to the first grade and then follow them all the way. And then most of the time, because that rap sheet is like that, they're already trying to figure out a way to get him into some kind of continuation school or into some kind of juvenile hall system or whatever.
Stacked against us.
So it's the young lions.
That's right.
Now and then our young lions get messed up by the time they get old. They're now locked up in the prisons and stuff. A lot of them join the military, and they end up getting twisted in the mind or getting killed on the battlefield. And it's just a few of us, men trying to hold on and help make a next generation of men, because Judah ain't no joke.
Right, sure ain't.
Now let's go. I just want to put that out there because we're going to see something about the scepter. Come on.
The scepter shall not depart from Judah.
All right, so guess who gets the scepter? according to the Bible,
Yehuda.
Yehuda gets the scepter.
That's right.
He gets the Zayin. And that represents power and control.
Mm-hmm.
So Saul was actually from Benjamin. He's a Benjamite.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody say, well, man, what happened? The people wanted a king.
Sure did.
And chose Saul because he was tall.
He was tall, good looking.
And you remember Westmacaulay told him that, Samuel. He said, man, y'all tripping. But that's what they wanted.
Right.
But he failed in the end.
Sure did. Started off pretty strong.
And then what happened? The scepter
Got weed.
went into the hand
Of Yehuda.
David is from the tribe of Judah. And then Solomon, and then his kingdom split. But one side of the kingdom continued with the bloodline of Yehuda. Now, he says, until Shiloh come, the scepter won't depart until Shiloh come, which is prophetic, because the last 5 kings, I think, all were bad. They all did wicked in the eyes of Abaya.
Yeah.
I'm talking about in Judah now.
Right.
You had the revival with Josiah. And then after that, man, you just start seeing degradation, right? So what did Yah do? He took the scepter away. And therefore we didn't have a king anymore. But he didn't take the power of authority over our own people away from us until Shiloh come, which was Hamashiach. When Hamashiach got here from the tribe of Judah, guess who was holding the scepter over the land of Judah? What was his name? Herod.
King Herod.
And what was Herod?
Edomite.
Was not an Israelite.
No.
So those of you just waking up to truth, I'm going to show you how you can understand your Bible even more, because the scepter, that Zayin, which is one of the things that the king has to hold, he has to have that scepter and he has to have that shepherd's staff. When Hamashiach came on the scene, the nation had lost the power to govern themselves.
Right.
And so you had Herod.
That's right.
And then you had Rome. But the true and real king was Hamashiach.
That's right.
So what did he have? He had the shepherd's staff. But what he gonna have when he come back?
That sword, baby.
Let's see.
Let's and dice.
Since we've been up here so long, let's just see what he gonna have when he come back. Let's get that. Where I want to go next. Wait, let's do this first. Let's first of all see if he's the king. Go to John, St. John, chapter 19, verse 19. That ought to be an easy one. John 19:19.
That right.
Did you? You wrote it.
Was that that's supposed to be 4? That can't be right.
Hold on. We working this thing together, man.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, let's hear it.
I was on the wrong page.
Oh, okay.
John 19:19. And Pilate wrote a title. You want me to back up a little bit?
Yes.
All right. Let's start at 17, maybe. And he, bearing his cross, went forth into a place, the place of the skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha.
Tell them what number we on. Oh, she got it. Okay.
Yeah. Verse 18, where they crucified him.
Well, they did what?
Crucified him.
That's where they crucified him. All right.
And 2 other men with him on either side. One and Mashiach in the midst. Verse 19. And Pilate wrote a title and put it on the cross. And the writing was Yahusha of Nazareth, the king of the Yahudim, or Jews.
So watch this. Herod is still alive. And yet Pilate writes on a placard that this is Yahushua HaMashiach, the king of the Yehudim. Now wait a minute. Pilate, Right across the street, man, is Herod. Why did you write that? Even the Pharisees and scribes tried to get Pilate to fix it. They said, hey, man, don't put that up there. Write that he said he was. Pilate said, no. What I have written. I have written. Oh, so now you're going to try to have some gumption, huh? Pilate, you dirty, Roman, perverted dog. You jelly back, weak, slimy, I ain't got spaghetti noodle neck. You were the judge. And you knew he was innocent.
Right.
And when you spent time talking to him and he told you that my kingdom is not of this world, or you would be a dead duck.
Right.
It struck fear in your heart. So you said, I'm just going to write, he's the king. And maybe that'll help me punch a ticket into the kingdom. You can forget it, baby. Pilate went to hell with everybody else.
Sure did. His wife
Talking
tried to
about,
warn him.
I wash my hands.
Right. His wife tried to warn him.
Tell him that story.
He said, I had visions about him all day.
So not all night, all day. She had daydreams. She couldn't close her eyes in the day without becoming completely frightened.
Right.
It was shaking her to her core.
Right.
She never would get involved in legal matters.
Right.
That's Pilate's job.
Come on.
See? But this particular time he about to judge, she said, hey, babe, come here. Pilate, I'm about to make a judgment, because he funny as he want to be anyway. I'm about to make a judgment on which one you want. Do you want Yahushua or you want Barabbas? Baby, Pilate, baby, come here. Would you all excuse me, please? My wife seems to be beckoning me. I must go and attend to her for a moment. Would you please? Honey, can't you see that I'm trying to make a decision concerning this man's life? Listen here, man. Can you hear what? Look, you can play that role with everybody else.
Listen here.
I'm going to tell you something. Listen to me. Every time I close my eyes, I see you going to hell. Every time I close my eyes, you busting hell wide open.
Ooh, quick.
Do not have anything to do with this innocent man.
Right.
See, if y'all go back and read your Bible, this is all a build up to him writing this.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is.
When he wrote it, he was convinced.
Yep.
But he was too soft
right.
and jellyback to stand on his convictions. But he wrote it anyway.
He heard the reports. He talked to him firsthand. He knew.
So now let's go to the Revelation. If y'all could clearly understand that our king is only carrying, the first time he's here, he's carrying a shepherd's staff.
You want to bring up that part before we leave about the
language?
languages.
Oh, that's where I was trying to go. Yeah, man, thank you for that,
verse
man.
20.
You know, I get excited. Thank you.
That's all right. Verse 20. The title read, Many of the Jews, for the place where Mashiach was crucified was nigh to the city, and it was written in Hebrew, Greek, and Latin.
Oh! Did y'all hear that? Oh.
Hebrew don't matter no more.
Ain't no more Hebrew. They wasn't speaking Hebrew. The whole world was speaking Greek. He wrote it in Hebrew. That's in the Bible.
Listed first.
How do these preachers and pastors and Christians fix their lips to say stuff when we don't even have to dig?
Don't. They jump.
Why were you writing a dead language?
They get right to the Greek.
No, you wrote it in a real language that they were speaking. Matter of fact, read that next one because I told the story, but they need to see it.
Then said the chief priests.
All right, now watch this.
Of the Jews to Pilate, the Yehudim to Pilate.
Right,
not the king of the Yehudim, but that he said, I am the king of the Yehudim.
They tried to straighten Pilate out. They said, hey, man, don't put he's the king, that he said he was the king. Now, what did Pilate say?
Verse 22, Pilate answered, what I have written, I have written.
There it is. because Abba Yah made sure that on that crucifixion stake, nailed to that tree, that the whole world knew that was a king giving his life
He laying it down.
for the kingdom. That was the shepherd laying his life down for the sheep.
Hallelujah.
And don't think he couldn't have fought, because he already told Pilate, if I want to, I can look up right now and my Abba will send down a legion, a multitude of angels. And look, one of them whooped 186,000, 85,000.
Right.
Man,
That's right.
if you let loose them heavenly
Oh,
hosts,
my goodness.
Earth would have looked like the moon. They would have kept saying, we find no life.
Void of
There's
life.
no sign of life. There's no sign there's ever been life there.
Everything.
It looks like there may have been water, but there's no life. It would have been nothing, y'all. But he didn't. He said, but this is the reason I came.
That's right.
I came to die.
I laid my life down.
You fulfilling prophecy, you don't even know it.
Sure don't.
All right, now let's see about the same king, and let's see about him in the Revelation when he come back. Come on.
Let's start at 14:14, I think.
All right, Revelation
14:14. And I looked and beheld a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown.
Oh, what?
A golden crown.
What does that make you?
A king.
Oh, I got a word for y'all. One of the words.
There we go.
One of the words in the Revelation is written with a zadi, gold.
That's right.
And our king have a golden crown.
And in his hand a sharp sickle.
And in his hand a what?
Sharp sickle.
Can I get a picture of the sickle?
That's it.
Come on. You put it up, but go ahead. We'll keep going.
All right.
Come
That's
on.
Right there.
Yeah, there we go.
A sharp sickle. Verse 15. And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud.
Okay, now an angel is coming crying to the one that got a crown and that sharp sickle. Come on.
Crying, saying, thrust in thy sickle and reap.
Come on.
For the time is come for thee to reap.
So Abba Yah is, Yahushua getting ready to do something. Come on.
For the harvest of the earth is ripe. And he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped.
Come on.
And another angel came out of the temple, which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. And another angel came out from the altar.
Where are these angels coming from, man? It sounds like to me they wreaking havoc.
They've been waiting for this day.
Come on.
Verse 18, and another angel came out from the altar, which had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. Verse 19, and the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of Elohim.
Woo! Come on.
Verse 20, and the winepress was trodden without the city.
The wine press, that's going to be people, y'all. Come on.
And blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horses' bridles.
Wait. So we wasn't just making that up?
No,
That's in the Bible.
that's in there.
So it sounds like to me a battle getting ready to take place. And it sounds like to me this time it's going to be bloodshed.
All over the place.
Not our word, not my words.
Right.
So a king is coming.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get you to see this. We saw the Lamed the first time he
That's right.
came.
Saw that rod. Correction.
But the next time he's going to rule the earth with a rod of iron. But it says, and out of his mouth is getting ready to come a two-edged sword. What does that mean? He's going to battle. I want y'all to understand that he's going to battle. I'm going to show it to you because somebody don't believe him over. I'm going to pull it up right now. Man, give me that Revelation 1:16.
Revelation 1:16. And he had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a sharp 2-edged sword.
Sound like to me. He got that weapon to cut.
And his countenance was as the sun shineth in his strength.
Woo! All right. Now, I want you to see the end battle. Let's go to Revelation. I think I want Revelation 19. Because he's going to say, let me see. Hold on. Because I was trying to show you all that all of these words represents. Yep, I just did this last week. When Babylon is destroyed. Hold on. I'm looking at a whole new Bible. I need you to start right here. Let me see. Because a lot of people don't realize that when Hamashiach come back, it's not going to be no long fight.
Right.
I was just trying to show them. Man, it's not what y'all think.
Right.
I need my Bible because I wrote it down. Hold on. I want to give you guys the exact verse. And I'm going to tell you the story, and y'all look it up, put it in the room. Go to, what I want to go. Yeah, go to Revelation chapter 20.
Okay.
Come on. Go to Revelation chapter 20, and let's start reading. I know some people don't understand it. Start reading at verse 7.
Okay. Verse 7. And when the 1,000 years are expired.
That's the 1,000 years that the devil is going to be locked up. And them heathens going to be trying to come together against our king.
Right.
Come on, read it.
Hasatan shall be loosed out of his prison.
Woo, come on.
And shall go out to deceive the nations which are under the 4 quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea.
Yeah.
Verse 9. And they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints about the beloved city, and the fire came down from Elohim out of heaven and devoured them.
It's over.
That's it.
I want all the heathens in the world to hear this because I know y'all writing all these movies that they're going to be battling back and forth, back and forth. No. Abaya's telling you. Just like Muhammad Ali used to tell them, I'm gonna have some fun, you dropping in 1. I might do you go down in 2 or whatever. Y'all showing you what's gonna happen. You guys are gonna think that you can whoop our king. And you're gonna gather the whole world to fight against his saint. Us. That word saints is really the separated ones. And Abaya is just going to kill everybody who fights against him at that time. It's a quick fight.
You read that verse too fast, you miss it.
Yeah. I remember one time, man, I was staying in Revelation, I said, boy, that was a big old build-up for a 1-verse win. It's like, man, we done read 20 chapters, and you think, oh, then they was this, then they fought like this, and then he backed up, and he came back. Nah, man, it was like, zoom, man, I'm do with this.
Swatting the flag.
Y'all gonna understand power and the scepter and cutting and killing so that there could be a place of rest and a place of, of food and nourishment for his own people. And if you don't think this is the truth, if you continue reading it, he's gonna take you to the city, and then inside the city, what's he getting ready to do? Show you there's a tree. Fought the battle.
That's right.
Now you can eat.
Healing for the nation.
Now there's food.
Yeah.
There's water. You can drink. Now there's a banquet table. Everybody come down. Let's all sit down. It's called the supper of the Lamb.
That's right.
So the Bible, you see how it worked together from Genesis to the Revelation.
Yeah.
You see how it's flawless.
Yeah.
You see how our king is victorious, how he has to come as a shepherd, but he got to also be the warrior king.
Right.
So the first time he came, he said, no, I can't kill everybody this time. I'm coming back, though. I'm coming this time to give my life a ransom.
Right.
I'm the shepherd that gives his life for the sheep.
Right.
But when I come back the second time, oh, baby, it ain't the same. Look. What y'all tried to do the first time, you heathens, you can forget it when he come back.
Drinker said it. She said
I guarantee-
one hit a quitter.
I guarantee you, when he come back with the Zayin, y'all ain't got to check. Look, ain't gonna be no slapping him.
Ain't no time to pop no popcorn.
No, hey, you ain't gonna be talking about him behind his back. There will be no calling him Beelzebub.
Oh my gosh.
There will be no talking about who his daddy is. There will be no more paintings of Cesar Borgia talking about he's a Mashiach. When he come back, there will be no more Sunday morning worship. There will be no more talking about we taking up arms. There will be no more Black Lives Matter. There will be no more of that. When he come back, he'll straighten it all out. It's going to be straight quick, too.
Quick, fast,
and all of the armies of the world who put their faith in bombs and missiles and ships and tanks, y'all going to think for some reason you let these heathens write these stories and these movies like Independence Day, where you think some kind of way the whole world gonna band together and they gonna all get under one flag and then they gonna fight and win. No, I don't care what you do, you ain't whooping Hamashiach. You can forget it. It's a done deal.
Yep.
And matter of fact, if I'm on the other side when this happens, I'm gonna be yelling to the top of my lungs. Get up!
That's right.
I tried to tell them. They didn't listen to me.
Right.
But they don't have to listen now. The king is here.
Yep.
Man, I had one of my homeboys came by today, man. We chilled out for a little while. It was good to see him. He's conscious too. He said, Murray. I said, yeah. He said, you do know our king, our redeemer, is almost here.
It's coming quick.
I said, man, that's a good word. He said, we don't have to fight no more. He about to fight our battle.
That's it. Ain't gearing up.
We ain't got to worry no more, man. He about to take care of all of our needs. He said, man, you know, I don't have to go down here and try to wrestle and fight downtown with people no more. You know what? I can already see him handling it. I can see him handling the nations right now.
Quick.
They can't do nothing about it. I can see our king handling people, the leadership, the so-called powerful people of the world. He said, man, and watch this. He said, because he's also conscious, right? So he was saying, he said, man, and I've been trying to tell these preachers, right? He said, now I'm watching the Most High Yah handle these preachers.
Easy.
They'll snatch their churches from them.
Easy.
Snatching their congregation.
Easy work.
They trying to watch YouTube video. He said, man, you've been doing YouTube all this time and they talking about you behind your back. He said, now they trying to figure out how to do. He said, man, it's too late.
Yep.
They losing properties. They losing church. They choosing church. They sermons is getting weaker and weaker.
They are.
He said, man, it's over, man. He said, I'm watching it, man. I'm watching our king.
Coming out. They're coming out.
He's making a separation between those who are here. That's part of that weapon.
Right.
It cuts. It divides.
Yeah.
It's a sword. It's a tool. And the wicked will be reaped into hell. The righteous will be reaped into everlasting life. There will be a great separation. Again, a cutting. The goats on the left.
Right.
His sheep on the right.
Right.
Oh, it's going to be a separation. That letter right there, the function of it, y'all going to see it clearly. That sickle go, woo! I feel sorry for you weeds. Y'all ain't got a chance against our king. I feel sorry for you hard-hearted people. I feel sorry for y'all. But to you babies that's waking up to truth,
Hallelujah.
you're on the right side.
Stay with it.
And I'm so happy Yah has chosen you
Yes.
to give you this information concerning your alphabet and how powerful these letters and words and meanings are and how they carry throughout your whole Bible. So real quick, let's just review. It's a plow, right? The Zayin. But the plow cuts. So we then understand the function of the cutting, that it's important to divide the earth.
Right.
Then we want to put the seed, we got to divide, we got to cut the weeds. Then you got to cut the branches that are unfruitful.
Right.
Then you have to cut the fruit so you can consume it. And then you have to protect the field, protect the garden, protect your family. So those same tools may have to be used to cut the enemy. And eventually, based on the scripture, a king will use the cutting tool in order to redeem his own nation back to himself.
Hallelujah.
He has to have two things as our king. He has to have a scepter, and he has to have a lamet. He has to have a lamet and a zayin. Two letters represent the control and power of our king, two sides of our king. So this letter means a lot. And I want to leave with this. That letter also has in it the word, there's a word that has this letter in it called zakar. And that's where Z get her name from.
That's right.
And that word means to remember.
That's right.
So how does that fit as we go out tonight? How does that fit? Because when you remember something, it means you're supposed to divide that thing, set it apart, cut it, so that you can focus on something. So when they say remember, it means right now forget everything else and think on this thing. You got to recall it. And it's not just to go to, I can think about it. What?
That which is good.
Yes, you remember in order to move.
Right.
We remember the Shabbat.
Hallelujah.
Why? That means we cut it away from the other 6 days.
Yeah.
To keep it holy.
Yeah.
That's why we don't move our Shabbat around. We know Hebrew. The Shabbat has to be cut from the other days. You got 6 days you work, 1 day look, we don't mess with that.
Ain't got time for that.
We keep it righteous, we keep it holy. We remember. Y'all remembered Noah.
Remember the covenant. Remember Noah.
There was
Abram.
There was a covenant. Yeah, he remembered his word, which means what? He had to zakar.
Separate them.
Noah was set apart to him. So with all that was going on,
hallelujah,
he was able to, move everything out the way, cut everything away. Let me go make sure my son is all right. And did you hear what that thief on the cross said? He said, zakar me.
Yeah, hallelujah.
I'm about to get
hallelujah.
touched. How zakar me when you go to your kingdom. I know it's a lot of people, man. You done met everybody, and I know I'm just a thief. I'm up here hanging for my sins right next to you, but can you remember? Can you say a word for me? Can you? And you know what the king said? This day, you coming with me. Who in there? You don't need to know. Who gonna say we don't need to know Hebrew? Boy, y'all don't understand. Look, Todai Rabbi, did we help Zion get some history back?
Yes.
You got lint in your eyes?
Yeah, I got a little dust in my eyes.
A little dust?
Hallelujah.
That's what I be telling my kids,
if Mashiach could weep, I could weep.
Boy, you start thinking about it.
Oh, my goodness.
Because he remembered me.
Yeah.
He remembered you. Zakar, he cut us apart, separated us to himself. Hallelujah.
Yeah, Drake sent a verse earlier. Oh, she just sent it again. I'm going to read it, Drake.
Go ahead.
She said, encouragement for Zion. Deuteronomy 33, verse 29. Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people saved by Yahuwah, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency.
Woo!
And thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee,
and
thou shalt tread upon their high places.
Todai Rabbi.
Yeah.
We're going out. with the Zayin, Psalm 119, verse 49. Remember the word
Zakar.
to your servant upon, that's the word remember, Zakar, upon which you have caused me to hope. This is my comfort in my affliction, for your word has given me life.
Hallelujah.
The proud have me in their derision, yet I do not turn aside from your law, your Torah.
Right.
I remember your judgments of old, oh Yah, and have comforted myself. Indignation hath taken hold of me because of the wicked who forsake your Torah. Your statutes have been my song.
Right.
In the house of my pilgrimage, I remember your name in the night. Oh, yeah. Zakar.
That's it. Hallelujah.
That's that Zadi. And keep your law. This has become mine because I kept your
Yes.
precepts.
Yes.
Hallelujah. Talking about the Zayin. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Hope you learned something. Did we help restore
Yeah, I hope so.
some culture,
I sure hope so.
history,
Hope they picking it up.
Torah? Woo! Don't forget to support the ARK. Before y'all go, Total Rabbah, 290, 300 people, man, in the room learning the text.
Hallelujah.
And we give Abba Yah praise, honor, and glory. Put them 1 millions in here. You know how we do it. Put them 1 millions in the room. Put where you're from so the whole world can see. Let them know that we from all over the world.
Worldwide.
I'm glad you're in the room, Spray. I hope my nephews is watching Uncle Maury. I know it might be late, but
The Australians up in there.
Australia's in the room. Woo! Los
LA
Angeles.
now.
Now the millions is coming. Nigeria's in the room. Hallelujah. Nebraska.
They're going so fast,
Colorado. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Moreno Valley, Oklahoma City. Phoenix. It's hot in Phoenix.
Salinas.
They in the room. Salinas.
Houston.
Woo! Houston. Y'all stay safe in Houston, boy. They
Ohio.
shooting.
Dayton, Ohio.
San Diego. Tublo.
Prayers for all those affected with the floods and hurricanes and all that.
Yes, y'all stay
y'all
strong.
Israelites
You
out
down there in New Orleans.
Houston, I believe, as well.
And Houston, yep. And those you in Oregon, hey, you let them folk handle their business.
Right.
Stay away from them bullets and tear gas.
It ain't our thing.
Y'all's doing this.
Yeah.
It's gonna be all right. Virginia's in the house. Somebody said from the south side.
of you.
Florida, North Carolina, y'all still woke.
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island, Four Corners of the, I hear you.
Corners,
Ooh, I sure enough hear you.
New Mexico.
New Mexico, Atlantic City.
Back to South Carolina.
Man, is it from
Straight
the
out
East
now.
Coast to the West?
East Coast to the West, overseas.
Overseas. Chicago.
Hallelujah.
Y'all be careful in Chicago, boy. And tell them brothers and sisters stop shooting each other.
Come on.
Compton.
Compton in the house.
Survive, boy.
Yeah.
Philly.
Tulsa.
You know, we haven't been to Philadelphia, man. We gotta go do a meeting when we lift this
Sound
up,
good.
man. Illinois.
Yeah.
Shalom.
Shalom, shalom, shalom.
One love, Zion.
Love y'all.
Until next week.
Yeah.
Shalom.